you believe it, my friends? We have reached the last wrestling show of 2025, so I'm just going to steal the start of this video, say thank you so much for all the support over 2026, both on here and over on What Culture Wrestling. It still blows my brain that I do get to do this. I think we said it on the Jericho video yesterday. Come January, I will have been a wrestling content creator for 10 years, which is totally nuts, but hey, I only get to do that because of the platform you guys have allowed me to have. So I put my hands together. I do say thank you very much. And as good as your 2025 May has been, I hope your 2026 is even better. And listen, we did get a bunch of things happening on this episode of Raw, and yes, some of it I thought was really good, and I've used the term bad, that's probably just YouTube language. I wouldn't say it was bad, but it did make me raise an eyebrow. I just want to start with the smartest thing that WWE did on this show, which was having the Usos become the tag team champions. It's the end of the year. You want to feel warm and fuzzy in your tum-tum, and that's exactly what you got. And it didn't even matter this was a babyface versus babyface match, because of course they were taking on AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. The fans were totally into this because it was Jimmy and Jey. I think people hoped that the Usos would be able to win, so you had that jeopardy. But it was just so well put together. Like, you actually don't even need to talk about it that much. You should just go and watch it with your eyes. But AJ Styles is flying around the place, and I understand the prep and the recovery time he probably has to do for matches is out of this world. But we don't see that, right? So when you just see him on the screen, you're like, well, you're retiring AJ, because he's still so good. When Dragon Lee is allowed to fly off, he's amazing. Jimmy and Jey just have the best chemistry for obvious reasons. There's some of these kickouts. The kickouts after the Stars clash, and when I think it was Jey Uso that hit the spear and Jimmy Uso hit the splash, I was like, oh, they don't actually know who's going to win here. And then by the time AJ went for that phenomenal forearm, he got double super kicked, 1D, I think on Dragon Lee, that rhymes, so it must be true, 1, 2, 3. I just like that's the way to do it. I think Austin Theory and Logan Paul are going to be the challengers for this, and I think they'll probably win too, which could tie into the meltdown of Jey Uso, because we still saw on this show Jey being like, I'm so sad, I can't do anything anymore, and Jimmy being like, no man, I'm your brother, I'm going to buff you up with my magical powers. But I don't know, there's just something in the air, and I appreciate WWE being patient with it, because you could have had Jimmy and Jey lose here and Jey have a meltdown, but prolonging it to January, February, whenever you want to do it, is much more interesting. Still not 100% sure it's the best thing to do, because while the internet goes nuts about Jey Uso, you go see live shows, or you go see sort of bits off camera, and you saw it last night too. Fans just love him, and they go totally crazy for him, but at the same time, a lot of the best heels do come when you find the absolute peak of their babyface run, and you switch them at the right occasion. And as long as the story makes sense, I don't think we should moan about it, but it was just a really good, really fought, really fun main event that ended by making you go, that's great, that's great. You didn't even mind that AJ Styles and Dragon Lee lost, especially because earlier than night 2 we had kind of teased it could be El Grande Americanos versus AJ, Dragon Lee, and Javon Evans. I love Javon Evans. I said this over on What Culture today as well. He's just Javon Evans, which actually ties into the bad, quote unquote, that I'll talk about in just one second. He just feels like Javon Evans. I hope you know what I mean by that, but it's nothing fake about him. That's who he is, and I can't ever see him being booed unless you can come up with something where it does make sense. What I mean by this is he could take on a heel or he could take on a face, and you should never change his personality, and his connection with the crowd should be totally based on the fact, well, who's he facing? Oh, he's taking on this guy and we prefer him to Javon Evans, therefore he's a heel. He has such a big upside. Should I tie this into the NXT stuff now? You know what, I will. Because something I didn't like, in inverted commas, that's way too strong on this show, is Trick Williams is walking around, obviously did it on SmackDown as well, giving his business card to people because he's a free agent. I think WWE could have been more creative with this. Like, we had an Obafemi video on this show that kind of made him feel like a ghost was coming to Raw. Like, it was so ominous in the best possible way. I'm not saying you have to copy that verbatim, but I think given the character of Trick, he's going to be fine regardless. He could have been called up 6 months ago and been totally fine. But I think you could have kind of gone back into old wrestling tropes of the big introduction video, and this is what I've done, this is my CV, this is my resume, and maybe sort of set it in some very interesting location just so it stands out. I always think about the Razor Ramon videos. You don't necessarily have to do that, but the fact I do remember them, all the Mr. Perfect ones, I just think turning backstage and going, oh, hi, I'm a free agent now, you can do more with it. And I'm much more intrigued by the Obafemi version of this. There was someone else we thought was getting called up too, and now I can't remember who that was, but whatever. I just don't think you want to throw things into the abyss. I think you can do more. The plus side to all of it is that Javon, Oba, and Trick should all be called up yesterday. I'd put Jordan Grace up as well, but we'll wait and see. So that kind of made me go, well, do I care? Not massively. I'm going to get over it so damn fast. But there is a connection to Austin Theory. Now, I think Austin Theory has a place in WWE. I think Austin Theory has a massive upside. And I don't want to say too much because I've now convinced myself, like the nerd I am, that he is actually working for Seth Rollins and eventually probably will be a babyface. But I just kind of feel like This is why I tie it into Javon Evans. Javon Evans is Javon Evans, and I totally believe him. He's young, he's crazy, he's nuts, he'll say ridiculous things, but it's cool, right? He comes across like an absolute badass. Whereas Austin Theory is meant to be a badass, but I just don't believe it. I don't buy it. This doesn't feel massively different from the character that he was playing, I guess, when he was taking on John Cena. And he's back in pants now, so everyone can calm down, or trunks, I should say, pants, American English terms. People were so mad. What's he wearing trousers for? It's all right, okay? He can wear whatever he wants. We're going to be fine. But be it the backstage part, or the promo he cut in the ring, I guess, when he's like, man, I've been waiting my entire life to join the Vision. Straight away, no, you haven't, because the Vision's only been around for a few months. But also, it's generic speak. And I know he doesn't talk like that because I saw what he did in NXT when he's part of The Way. And I've seen him in social media videos or online when he is, I don't know Austin Theory's real name in. I doubt it's Austin Theory, but maybe it is. I just think we should have done that. Now, again, I don't want to jump on this bandwagon too soon. It's super early. He's been back 2 to 3 weeks. We get to the middle of January and I was like, oh man, I'm such an idiot. He's finally found his feet with this. But I also think there's something to say that when someone debuts, they should be like, oh man, I can't wait to see what they're going to do. And I kind of think we've already fallen back into generic heel guy. And I think he's more than that. Like, once again, I have to keep using this term because I don't really know how else to say it. He is miscast as this person. And listen, people in WWE know way more than I do. So maybe they've seen something that I haven't. But just as a stupid geek watching Raw every single week and watching Austin Theory for the past few years, I'm always like, I feel like the position they're putting you in is actually hamstringing what you'd actually be able to do naturally. And we're going so far away from the natural Austin Theory, and it feels more like a manufactured guy, which I don't think you want, especially in 2025. I'm going to talk about CM Punk in just 1 second. CM Punk is just CM Punk. And when he talks, it sounds like he could be talking backstage. He's just directing his verbiage at you. Whereas Austin Theory kind of talks in sound bites. And it's going to be really interesting with him and Logan Paul, because Logan Paul talks like he's in AI. Like, he just says the same things every single week. Like, I'm a big star. I'm a bigger star than you. I'm the biggest star in WWE. It's like, I get it, but give me some depth, man. And maybe someone like Logan Paul doesn't need it, and I'm being needlessly harsh there. But Austin Theory has an upside. I don't want Austin Theory to end up where he was a couple of years ago. I can't remember how long he was away with his injury, where everyone was like, I don't know what we're going to do with this guy. John Cena even said it in that promo. And let's not pretend that sometimes John Cena cuts a promo. You're like, he's being real. That's actually what he thinks here. He's not kayfabing anything. And he said something along the lines of, I don't know who you are. And I still think Austin Theory is that guy, which is nuts, because some people do know who he is because we've seen it, but we continually go away from it. But again, yes, if we get to March, there's a random date, and Seth Rollins comes back, and Austin is like, it was a ruse all along, and I infiltrated your group, then I'm going to look like an idiot, and you needed to do this, which is why, I don't want to plant too many seeds just yet, because then it would be a really, really good story, and WWE will deserve credit for playing the long game. That's just how I feel about it right now. I want to see dumb over the top Austin Theory. I don't think it's going to hold him back. Again, Kurt Angle, he's not as good in the ring as Kurt Angle, who is basically nobody. But Kurt Angle could be a buffoon on the outside of the ring because what he did inside of the ring was awesome. And Austin Theory doesn't need to get to that level because, he's, I don't want to say he's perfectly serviceable, but we are making him just be serviceable in the ring because he's meant to be, I'm a heel, whereas a babyface he's going to be able to do more. I hope that made sense, right? But that's how I genuinely feel. So I just thought I would get it out there. And if you want to disagree with us, totally fine. The comments are down there. The CM Punk stuff as well. He mugged off Austin Theory straight away. He interrupted the Vision's promo to begin. And he was like, I want to talk to you. And then made some sexual references, dare I say it. And he wanted to talk to Bron Breakker. Bless CM Punk for always having a reason why he does this stuff. He said, I will get in the ring because you won't beat me up, the Vision, because then our world title match next week will be off. Bron Breakker has just taken a promo drug or something over the last month. He has totally found his voice. He's totally believable as well. He tells CM Punk, you probably don't like me because I never did indies. I never paid my dues. But this business is in my blood. Obviously, the Scott Steiner stuff, the Rick Steiner stuff. And I love this. I want to die for that world title, which is way too much. You can just win it and not die. That sounds like a much better option than CM Punk snaps back. But you know what? I'm not ready. I'm not ready to get up this title. So while you may be ready, I'm in your way. Pick the damn thing up. Like, it carries so much weight. Are you able to handle that privilege? And then he walks off. I think it was good that we didn't get violent here because it kind of has this air of mystery in the air, which is the stupid sentence I've ever thrown out there. But the Punk promos leading up to this have been brilliant. The Bron Breakker promos leading up to this have been brilliant. I think this did enough to make you go, I'm not entirely sure who is going to win. And, I would have Bron Breakker win just because I think life is too short, which sounds so ridiculous. But what difference does it make? CM Punk is CM Punk. He can lose, and he could win it back at the Royal Rumble or something like that. I think, honestly, I said this the other day, and maybe I'm being too much of a nerd. That's a fair point. You could have Bron Breakker run through CM Punk and be really surprising. Oh my gosh, he murked that dude. And then build to CM Punk's big old win, maybe even at WrestleMania. And that feels kind of switched around, because why isn't the young young dude winning at the show of shows, but it's meant to be a feel-good event, WrestleMania, and CM Punk is one of the biggest baby faces on the roster. But either way, they went out there and they got the work done. They understood the assignment. They hit a massive home run. I thought this was so damn good, and if CM Punk wins, I won't be surprised. If Bron Breakker wins, I guess I'd be a little bit surprised. But they've certainly done the groundwork, so it would make sense. Really good stuff. Bron Breakker just feels like he's there now, right? Which is what he said as well. People keep saying, I'm the future, I'm the present. It's absolutely true. And all he needs is a massive win against someone like a CM Punk and a world championship reign that's booked in the right way. There will be no going back. He would have done it. I thought this was very, very good. Otherwise, we had that three-way between Raquel, Nikki Bella, and Stephanie Vicaire. I had become a Nikki Bella fan from nowhere. I never really minded her 10 years ago, but I was kind of take it or leave it. Now I just think she's great. I don't know what it is. It just makes me laugh as a heel. I didn't like the finish to this, when Raquel was going to powerbomb both of them. And then Stephanie wiggled and jiggled out and got rid of Raquel. And because Nikki Bella had been bombed of power, she just pinned her. I kind of felt like she could have done a bit more of that. But maybe, once again, that's me sort of reading into details I don't need to read into. I just feel like Stephanie Vicaire needs, I guess, more promo time is a fair play way to put it. More highlighting, does that make sense? Rather than just being a match, then not being a match. Although she is very, very good. Probably a proper feud as well. Now we are at 2026. And it kind of feels like we're done with the Raquel and Nikki Bella stuff, although I would have said that a few weeks ago as well. But it was a fun match. I never thought that Stephanie Vicaire was going to lose. But then you had the big tag team match at the end of the show too. So I wasn't that fussed. Otherwise, we built everything, speaking of championship matches, for the Kabuki Warriors versus Rhea Ripley and Io Sky next week. That's another one. You can pick a man, but Asuka comes out here. What does she call the fans? Stupid clowns. And she was so happy she beat Rhea Ripley, so out come Rhea and Io. They have a big schmoz and kind of just separate. Then we had the big over-the-top promo later from Rhea and Io, which was also very good. I just like the spotlight that is being shone on these women's tag team championships. I think star power wise, this has to be number one. In terms of how long they've been on TV without vanishing, I think it has to be number one. It's ticking a load of boxes and I'm super excited about it. And again, it's the women's tag team titles. They're genuinely one of my favorite things in WWE. But the Kabuki Warriors can lose, and then you can have them have a rematch a couple weeks after that, and the Kabuki Warriors could win them back. I still hope somehow we do the Rhea Ripley Asuka singles feud properly, for lack of a better term. Also do Io versus Kairi and then switch them round, because I think there is something in an Asuka Io Sky feud, especially if one of them is the women's champion. But I don't want to get there too soon, because again, I like these women's tag team championships. I did think it was ridiculous when Bayley and Lyra Valkyria asked Adam Pearce for a title shot. In what world have you justified it? But again, Bayley is a massive star. Lyra has had a great 2025, maybe sort of a bit hit and miss in the latter part, but when she was doing all that Becky Lynch stuff, super duper good. So they're big deals, right? You don't see them as nothing on the show. So the fact they want those titles, that is good as well. Please, for the love of everything, carry on in 2026. Becky Lynch, speaking of her, also had a big promo off with Maxine Dupree. This was another one. We all know Becky Lynch is great as a heel. Again, I put her in my top 10 wrestlers of the year list, mostly based on her heel work and promo work and getting everybody over, which she has done with Maxine Dupree. But this was Maxine Dupree finding herself as a character, as Maxine Dupree, the Intercontinental Champion, which she probably is going to lose next week. And I saw one criticism, which was like a lot of what she was saying is very generic, which was true, but she delivered it with passion, she delivered it very directly, and she delivered it believably. And as always, it's not the actual words that you read, it is how you get them out there. She's another person that I think has, what's that phrase? Sometimes the title makes the wrestler, or vice versa. This is one when she's got that championship, she's got this renewed confidence. It's such a shame we moved away from the Judgment Day stuff, because she took out Ivy Nile, then she had that stare down with Roxanne. I thought we were going to do that match and then get back to Becky Lynch. We kind of jumped that part. I think a couple of wins, maybe even 3 wins before getting back to Becky, really would have cemented this. But either way, WWE has been trying this with Maxine Dupree for ages. Of course, she still has areas to improve, but that's not a bad thing. That's basically what her gimmick is. Oh man, I'm trying so hard to get better. But we have something here, and I'm super pumped to see what we can do with it. I just enjoy it. Now, admittedly, I don't boo Becky Lynch. I don't hate Becky Lynch, like you hate a Gunther, for example. But I really like Maxine Dupree. So even though Becky Lynch will probably win, I'll be fine with it. She has the right feeling. Is that the proper term? I don't know. But this feud just works. And if Becky Lynch does win it next week, I still think she's established Lyra Valkyria, and I think after this she will establish Maxine Dupree. Maxine Dupree just needs to go into a big feud. Like, it's still bizarre that Lyra never went back after the IC title, because the only reason she didn't is because that was a stipulation about Becky Lynch. I think WWE may have forgotten that. But it was just a very serviceable, sounds way too harsh. It just worked for what it meant to do, and that's the entire point. Gunther also killed R-Truth, which was a must-needed need. clearly needs some sleep. But somebody related to John Cena was going to have to be absolutely murked by Gunther, hits him with the powerbomb, picks him up at the 1-2, and made him tap out. Because, of course, you know, if John Cena was going to tap out, our truth has now been told. Don't give up until you absolutely need to give up. But I hate Gunther's t-shirt that says John Cena tapped out like a bitch, when it actually just says ... I think that's awful. I think that makes a parody of what we did, but that could just be me overthinking things. But Gunther right now, whether you want to call it manufactured heat or not, is still hated by this audience, and that's all that matters. It's a show. He's getting the right reactions. I really think now he just has to continue to murk people, and it's just easy. And even when he comes up against someone that's a slight name, he gets through them too. Then he gets through a CM Punk. He beats him. He beats a Cody Rhodes. He needs to beat everybody. He needs to go on a Brock Lesnar 2014 type run where nobody can stop him. He just is an absolute maniacal maniac. Because if you are going to retire John Cena, which you're never going to be able to do again for obvious reasons, make sure you follow up on it. So far, I would give it a 7 out of 10. It's not like we've come out with a blaze of glory, but if we're playing the long game, that is okay. But seeing poor old R-Truth get totally murdered by Gunther, it's a huge reason why you want to bring R-Truth back. I think it's a shame we dropped the wrong killing stuff halfway through the year. I think we could have done something with that. But this version of R-Truth is so damn beloved that him also getting massacred by Gunther is only going to help. And right now it's Gunther's time. And he'll be another guy that gets a massive push in 2026. So simple, effective, I liked it, no notes. And that was essentially the majority of Raw. I don't think there was anything else we need to talk about. And again, if so, check out my ups and downs. We go things in a beat by beat. Dominic Mysterio is out with an injury for a while, which is a massive shame. So we're going to have to sort something out with the IC title. I think we just have to drop the Finn Balor stuff now. Finn Balor did cut a promo. It was like, yeah, the Judgment Day kind of screwed. No Finn Balor, no G. No Finn Balor, no Dominic Mysterio, no JD McDonough. So I'll take it on my back. I think there could probably be a way to turn Finn Balor face and nobody would mind it because people do love the guy. It is a shame. They're kind of disarray right now and all those Dominic Mysterio plans have to be shelved. What we do with the IC title, I don't know. Maybe you could give it to Finn, and then maybe when Dominic comes back, that's how you get into the feud. This is why sometimes you don't want to elongate stuff as much as WWE tends to do. We could have got this done, and who knows what position we would have been in, but that is a shame. Mostly, who cares about the wrestling? I hope that Dominic Mysterio is okay, and what a loss for WWE, because he's one of the best people they do have. Otherwise, did I talk about the Rey Mysterio stuff? I don't think I did. I'll tell you why. It was Austin Theory versus Rey Mysterio, and Logan Paul caused the disqualification. Penta coming back, brilliant. Penta and Rey as a tag team, awesome. But I think Logan and Austin are going to beat them and then going on to take on the Usos, which they'll win, which sends Jey Uso into crazy town. I don't know. That's all I've got. I'm a bit bored of these disqualifications. Austin Theory's been back 3 weeks, whatever it is, and he's already involved with DQs. I don't want Rey Mysterio to lose anymore. He's lost way too much. Kind of feel like if you're in a heel group and you're causing shenanigans and it doesn't need to get in victories, then why are you doing it to begin with? And why does Adam Pearce allow you to go out there anyway? Like, they actually talked about this. Paul Heyman said, hey, Logan Paul, you should go to the ring with Austin Theory. I saw that. So the Raw powers that be must have seen that, but now I am really getting on my nerd high horse, so I'll move off of it. I'll wait and see with this one. I love Rey Mysterio, I love Penta, I'd put Penta in the world title scene, at least for a mini program. Logan Paul is what he is, and again, I want Austin Theory to do well. But having 10 minutes, and then Logan Paul just interrupts, you're like, well, where did I get with any of that? In fact, I'm in the exact same position I would have been in anyway. The Penta stuff was good, though. Let's not pretend otherwise. As a vehicle to get Penta back on TV, we can't get mad at that. But it was a good Raw overall. And again, it ended in the most spectacular fashion with the Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso title win. So that's good as well. And it has told you this January 5th/6th Raw, I can't remember which one it is now, is meant to be like a PLE. And I think the WWE is going to turn this into a tradition. So that's cool. And we do have 3 massive title matches next week. You could change all the belts and that would be totally fine. Take a risk. It doesn't matter. You can always make up for it a different time. But I'm excited for that show, and I guess we call it a go-home show. It did a decent job. But what I think doesn't matter, what you think does, please do drop me a comment below. Before you like the video, share the video, and subscribe, and click that notification bell, especially if you're on mobile. Click the video on the screen as well, which is me talking about Chris Jericho's WWE return. Kind of feels like it's signed, sealed, and delivered now, especially because he's not at World's End. I believe his contract ends tomorrow. We'll wait and see. It's all rumors and speculation at the moment. But it's one of those where you're like, man, there's a lot of smoke, which means there's some fire. You can also get me at patreon.com/Simon316 to support my watch-along videos and the channel, of course. It all funnels back through. Grillermind.com/Simon. If you're into your fitness, use the code Simon to get money off. Bet supplements, I use them all the time. I wouldn't recommend them otherwise. I never will. Anything I put out there is because I believe in it. Otherwise, Simon316 to call me an idiot on the internet and TikTok and Cameo and Pro Wrestling Tees. Just search for my name. Thanks for all the TikToks over the holiday season. That was super duper fun. But more importantly, thank you for supporting me the last 12 months. I will be back in 2026 as long as I am blessed to continue in this position. And it doesn't help without an audience, and that is you guys. Thank you for all the messages you send me as well. Have a lovely new year, and I'll see you soon.